Google takes its biggest L ever, now a convicted monopolist. Yeah, but, like, we gotta see if actually anything happens. I'm not 100% convinced, chat.
Yesterday, big tech changed forever after Google lost the most important legal battle of its life, a fight against the US Department of Justice that started back in 2020, claiming that Google violated US antitrust law and cheated at monopoly. The government called Google a filthy monopoly.
Wait, is this actually real? Wait, they were actually had a jury with a monocle and a top hat?
Who used illegal tactics to crush the competition and stifle innovation. Google's lawyers clapped back and said that was outrageous and salacious, but the judge agreed with the feds.
Guilty.
And just like Standard Oil and the American Tobacco Company, Google is now—
What does it say now? After having carefully considered and weighed the testimony and evidence, the court reaches the following conclusion. Google is a monopolist and has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. Huh, that's crazy. It takes a court to say that. It's not like we've been saying that for years or anything.
And just like Standard Oil and the American Tobacco Company, Google is now officially required to wear the illegal monopoly dunce cap. But everyone cheats at monopoly. Apple, Amazon, and Meta are also—
Yeah, but what does that actually mean? You can put a dunce cap on Google, but does that actually mean anything? Nothing? Yeah, they'll give him a $200 million fine and be like, you naughty little man, naughty, naughty, naughty.
Fighting active antitrust cases. In today's video, we'll find out what these cases are all about, why Google lost its fight, but most importantly, what does this mean for the future of big tech, and how do I get rich off of it? It is August 6, 2024, and you're watching The Code Report. Things used to be a lot different back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. This is strong. This is what my brother would do. This is how my brother dressed up until like 2008, man. It's like 2005, maybe 2007. This is powerful right here. Just boys being boys.
Horses were still the primary mode of transportation, hemp was legal, and Coca-Cola still had cocaine in it. But 1890 was also the year the Sherman Act was passed, a law at the time that was targeted at big oil, big tobacco, and big railroad to prevent anti-competitive activities that made it impossible for competitors to enter the market. Google broke Section 2 of the Sherman Act, which has two provisions: the possession of monopoly power and willful acquisition or maintenance of that power that's not a consequence of a superior product. In other words, to break the law, you need to both dominate the market and do so in ways outside of building a better product. Google controls 88% of—
Yeah, Google sucks. Do you guys remember when we used to Google and it told you to eat rocks because of the AI? I remember. Yeah, it told people to off themselves as well, to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
the domestic search market, and I think most people agree that Google has a superior product. I get way better results from it than Lycos or Excite, and its AI no longer recommends I jump off the Golden Gate Bridge when I'm feeling
not pre-washed, man. Not pre-washed, I swear to God.
Sad. But Google got into trouble with its exclusivity deals, like when it requires its search engine to be the default on Android devices, its deal with the Mozilla Firefox browser, and its
I never thought of that. I thought that was like, wait, I never thought about that. I did not know that it's not okay to have them force a browser on a phone or a browser. Yeah. That's strong.
Same deal with Apple, where it pays them 36% of search revenue to the tune of $20 billion per year. Basically, the judge said these deals were anti-competitive, and now Google will not pass go and will not collect $200. Well, actually, we don't really know what the penalty is yet, and that's to be continued in a separate—
Of course we don't. It's probably going to be like $200 million.
Trial. I highly doubt it'll be like what JFK said right before he went to Dallas, to shatter Google into 1,000 pieces and scattered into the winds. It is possible Google could be broken up into multiple different entities, like maybe it has to divest Gmail on Android. But the tricky thing about Google is that its search business makes so much money, it's able to subsidize these free projects like Gmail on Android. If Gmail were on its own, we'd probably have to pay $10 a month to use it. But if you talk to someone like Microsoft, who was accused of being a monopoly back in 2001, things might not be so bad. A more likely outcome is that Google faces some kind of fine and then contractual restrictions on these deals. And that could actually be a good thing for Google, because then Apple can't rake in cash while doing absolutely nothing of value except maintain its own monopoly. Speaking of which, Apple is also being sued by the US Department of Justice for maintaining a monopoly. Many people will defend Apple's walled garden to their death, but the Fed—
What about Samsung though? I think Apple and Samsung are like the two biggest monopolies.
Think that Apple is actually tricking you by using things like privacy as an elastic shield to justify abusive business practices, among many other things. Apple also got into trouble with the EU and was required to open its payment service to competitors like Epic.
Now that's a big deal. When the EU gets involved, that's why gambling laws in EU was a big deal for most video games as well. How is Samsung a monopoly? I don't know, because they're the second biggest one, and there's virtually no other competitors. Isn't Samsung Korean? Yeah. Yeah, Samsung is Korean. I don't know how it works. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just thinking. Exactly second. Guys, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how it works. Yeah, like, I don't know, because some laws go international. Samsung owns everything in South Korea? Yeah, they own, like, washing machines, they own, like, freaking dryers, they own a lot of, like, technology in general. I thought that it would be kind of a big deal, but I guess you can't really sue outside of, or, like, get sued by outside of the US very easily. Even the whole like, anti-gambling law thing with the EU and video games, that was a big deal.
Also got into trouble with the EU and was required to open its payment service to competitors like Epic Games, and now Fortnite is finally coming back to the App Store. But Meta is also facing a lawsuit for monopolizing the social media space with anti-competitive acquisitions like Instagram and WhatsApp. Then Amazon is also fighting its own monopoly battle, where it's accused of taking advantage of its sellers with anti-discounting measures and contracts that favor its own products. Now,
yeah, that's a big deal. They always put it at a lower price, and then they act like, oh yeah, if you want to pay more, you can go outside of the Amazon deal. That's why they shove their own product up on the search history, even if it's not the best, most optimized product for your search choice. I bet you they might even lose that. Samsung accounts for 20% of Korea's economy. Because Samsung isn't US based, the US can't do anything, even if they are a monopoly. I don't know how it works, and neither do you. You're not a lawyer. I'm sure there's a way that they could probably get into trouble, but again, international law is very tricky.
Any of this comes as a shock to you, it's time to wake up. You don't become a trillion-dollar tech company by not being evil. It's a brutal, cutthroat game. As a tech company, you either go bankrupt as a—
And I'm not gonna Google laws, because laws on Google aren't accurate. I hired a lawyer when I got into copyright trouble one time. They told me not to Google laws because Google is not accurate, so shut the hell up.
Hero, or live long enough to become an illegal monopoly. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
I love that. Love that, love that, love that. Remember what Google had to say? They wouldn't make their AI evil? No, it's not evil, it's just really bad. Chat, you have to think about it this way. Is Google really evil? No, they just really love money, chat. They love money. Love money. Samsung makes just about anything with a chip these days? Yeah, pretty much. Samsung makes a women? Yeah, I just have a woman downstairs. She washes my clothes in a river. Oh god. What is the market share of phones for Samsung and Apple? What is it? In the United States, Apple, Samsung have a combined market share of almost 80%. Yeah, so it's pretty much like 40-40, which is insane. Hello, Samsung. One woman, please. And then they bring out a beautiful Korean woman. How did a dishwasher buy a dishwasher? Do they make tanks? I want a Samsung tank. I'm about to blow. Google isn't evil? That implies they have a moral compass. They're just a corpa, and corpus by design only care about money. Yeah, that's the ultimate thing that I think that people don't understand. Tobacco companies aren't evil. They just didn't care because they want money. Like, when people didn't know that smoking gave you cancer, they loved it. They were like, wow, I love smoking. I love smoking, and they made a lot of money off of it. But eventually, when it came into law that smoking is bad and it gives you cancer, the companies were like, what do we do? Oh, shit. Yeah, but morals are subjective. Some people, like, a pedophile will say, oh, well, I should be able to be attracted to young people. Yeah. You can't play that game. People will think what they think. You can't convince them otherwise. Oh, yeah.